Hey guys, it's me again. Today, I'm going to be giving you guys my first impressions on a series I actually began just yesterday. But before I get into that, I do want to let you guys know I do still have my giveaway going for a free manga of your choice from Amazon. So if you want to go and enter that, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, go over to my giveaway video that I will have linked in the description, like that video, and then comment on that video either an interesting video idea, an interesting question, as well as a number of your choice, as long as it isn't a duplicate. And I actually had a question yesterday about if there's a limit to what number it can be. No, it can be literally whatever number you want. Just don't go decimals because I don't think the random number generator will pick decimals. But yeah, sorry I couldn't. If you see that, I think that was Pension Time or something like that was his name. If you see this, I'm sorry I couldn't reply to your comment. It was one of the many comments that didn't actually show up on the video for me to interact with. So I thought I'd just go ahead and answer that here. So, anyway, this series, I haven't said this yet, but I think it's kind of obvious after you see all this. The series is A Silent Voice. I got the box set in the mail yesterday. I unboxed it last night, and I didn't start reading it right away last night because I was busy, but I just woke up, so I haven't read anything today. And from last night alone, I'm already partway through volume 3. Yeah, if that doesn't say something, then I don't know what does. That's saying a lot. Usually I can't just binge read manga like that much, but I honestly didn't want to stop. And I was hanging out with my baby sister, and I feel like if I hadn't been spending time with her last night, hanging out with her, I think I might have finished the series all last night. Yeah. So I'm giving you guys my first impressions on this. So I'm going to divide this into two parts. This first part is going to be spoiler free, and then the second part will be spoilers. So stick around for the spoiler free part because that's what's coming first, and then we'll get into spoilers later. So that way, if you haven't seen or read the series, you don't have to worry about those. So A Silent Voice, I'm just going to give you guys a brief description of the series, is about these two characters right here. The guy's name is Shoya, and the girl's name is Shoko, and they go to the same elementary school. She transfers her there one day, and Shoya is a bit of a bully, a bit, saying he's a bit of one is an understatement, yes, but he's very much so one. And, he doesn't see it as that, because he just thinks he's fighting off boredom, so he doesn't see it as a problem. But she transfers to his school one day, and she's deaf, and, well, you can obviously assume from hearing about these two characters what happens there. And yeah, so and that's just the first part. Later on, it changes and stuff. I'm not gonna say how yet. I will once I get into the spoiler parts. But man, this manga is amazing. I love this so much. These characters who, at the time, since I just started reading this, I was on volume 1, so I didn't know these characters very well. But I felt so bad for Shoko. I felt so bad for her. And a certain character who it should be kind of obvious based on their character description. It's like I just wanted to punch him, and I wanted to just I wanted to go off on this kid. And again, I'll get more into this in the spoiler section because I don't want to say why here. But yeah, I know they really make you feel for the characters in here, and that's the main part of the first one. It was like that throughout most of it, and then in the second one they change. It changes a lot because there's a big thing that happens in transitioning from the first volume to the second volume. So they change the way you feel about certain characters almost instantly with the way they do it, and I think it's really cool how they managed to do that because there were certain characters that I was convinced I was never gonna like at all, and then the second volume comes around. Here I am supporting these characters, hoping things go well for them, and wishing them luck on every little thing they do. So I didn't expect anything to change that drastically, but it certainly did, and it blew my mind. And yeah, the characters in this, even when I hate them, um, I mean, not all of them. There's only a couple that I really hated, but even when I hate them, I love them because they do such a good job with the characters in this. The plot and the story overall is something really unique. I by now I've seen and read plenty of anime and manga, and this is really something that I haven't seen at all. Like, this is completely different from anything I've ever seen or read. And me going into this blind, having no idea what to expect, knowing nothing about the plot, I think that really added to these big reactions that I'm getting from the series, and I love it so much. My plans for after I finish the series, probably today or tomorrow, honestly, are I want to watch the movie on Netflix, and then if I like that enough, I think I'm just going to have to go ahead and get the DVD as well. And Dritsky, I'm going to tell you now, this is not topping your name. Um, I'm sorry, it comes close. I'd say this is definitely my second favorite anime movie. I was actually considering maybe tying it with your name, but then I was like, no, I can't do that. So, you'll be happy to know, Andrzejewski, this is my second favorite anime movie, even though I haven't seen the movie. Just, if the movie is at all like the manga, then it'll be my second favorite. And, it's a good thing I read this series when I did, because affects a video I've been planning on working on that should be up in a couple days. So, once you see that video in a couple days, and you notice a certain something from this video, you're like, okay, this is what he meant by it affected that. So, it's a good thing I didn't make that video sooner, because that would have been inaccurate after me reading this. But, anyway, yeah, that's all for the spoiler-free part. I'm gonna get into the spoiler part now, so stick around if you want spoilers and if you don't mind those. But if you're not sticking around for that, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and as always, I will see you guys next time. Now, don't click off, though, if you want spoilers, because that's not the end of the video. I know that sounds like the end of my videos, but it's not. So, now for the spoilers, the fun stuff, the stuff where I can talk freely about my opinions without being like, oh no, I just spoiled something. So, yeah, like I said, this guy right here, Shoya, he's a big bully to people. This girl right here, her name's Shoko. She transfers to his school one day, and she's deaf. So, I mentioned earlier how he doesn't think he's really bullying people. He doesn't think it's a bad thing. Well, that's because Shoya has this thing he does where he has declared war against boredom, and he feels like his main goal in life is to never be bored. So, he doesn't see it as him bullying her. He thinks it's just avoiding boredom, and well, he justifies it as he says he's testing whether or not she's really deaf. I think it's pretty obvious that she is. But he does such horrible things to her. Like, she has this communication notebook right here. This is how she talks to people. She writes things in here, and they write their responses in here, since she can't hear, and most people don't know sign language. So, like, he'll write stuff in there, like telling her to die and telling her she's horrible at different things and saying she's ruining school and calling her ugly and all this stuff, and it's like, it's just terrible. And then not only does he do that, but he'll also just talk tons of smack about her behind her back, and people will write things on the chalkboard in their class saying horrible stuff, and then it eventually gets to the point where he beats her up. And I know that already sounds not bad enough. It's like, wow, that's some serious stuff right there. Well, it gets even worse when you realize this girl's one of the sweetest people ever. She's just always happy. She just wants to be friends with everyone. She just wants to help everyone and make everyone happy. She couldn't ever do anything mean in life, even if she wanted to. And yet you have this guy treating her like she's a disease, and is like, how can you do that? And that's why, when I was watching him beat her up, oh my gosh, I just wanted to hurt this kid so badly. Because it's like, she's done nothing to him except be nice. And he's just doing this horrible stuff to her. And then, she leaves the school, she transfers to another one because of all the bullying and stuff. And we find out that, well, Shoya had been seeing her erasing horrible things off of a desk and the chalkboard. Erasing things that are just about as bad, if not worse, than the stuff in her notebook and all that. And he always thought that she was erasing the stuff that people wrote about her. No, she wasn't erasing the stuff that people wrote about her. She was erasing the stuff people wrote about him. Yeah. So she wasn't feeling sorry for herself. She was looking out for him. And so not only was she just this pure, innocent, happy person who just wants to make other people happy and be friends with everyone, she was also looking out for him. And then he does all this stuff, and oh my gosh, it makes me so mad. But then that's why the big twist in the second volume is crazy. We go a few years into the future, and he ends up meeting her again. I don't remember how exactly that happened. They didn't explain it a whole lot. It just kind of happened. But at that point, he's trying to apologize to her, and eventually they slowly start to become friends. And well, they don't know it yet, but it's fairly obvious that they love each other. So that's pretty cool. That's a big change in pace. They went from him hating her and seeing her as some less than human thing, and her just wanting to be friends with him, to now they probably love each other, it seems like. So that's awesome. That's a big twist, and that made me so happy there to see it all turn around like that. Um, and then we meet a lot of new characters too in the second and third volumes, and I'm sure that continues throughout the rest. But the only complaint I've really had with the character was the characters in here are kind of dumb, because Shoko has a little sister, very feminine looking, as a girl should be, but most of the characters, when they meet her, are convinced that she's a guy. Um, no, she doesn't look like a guy at all, so that bugged me a bit to see how dumb everyone in the series was, thinking that this was a dude. And she, after they call her a dude and stuff, she's like, oh yeah, I'm her little brother. Well, she says that to some people, and then to other people she tells them that she's Shoko's boyfriend because she wants to keep Shoya away from her. But it's like, there's no way that that's a dude. I mean, I know traps are a thing, but it's obvious that she's a girl and not a trap. And, you know, guess what? I was right. She's a girl. We find that out later. And so it's like, why are people ever thinking like it's a dude? But anyway, that's my only complaint with characters for this. Everything else was necessary, I suppose. But yeah, this series is so good, guys. I can't say enough good stuff about this. After I upload this video, I'll probably actually read more of it. That's probably what I'm going to be doing, just because I love this series so much. So yeah, if you guys haven't checked out this series, I probably should have said this in the spoiler-free part. Because if you're watching the spoiler part, then if you're watching the spoiler part and you haven't checked out the series yet, then okay, you need to go check it out at this point. So if you're watching this and you haven't checked out the series, go check it out. I guess I can't really say if you that to people that haven't heard the spoilers. I probably should have taken that into consideration. I didn't think about that, so whoops. But yeah, I'll make sure to, after I finish the series, I'll do an updated review on the series as a whole. So make sure to look forward to that. And once I finish this, I'll probably be in a couple days, I'd imagine. Maybe not. I don't know. Hopefully. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will see you guys next time.